Hello fellow readers, book lovers, and whoever else is watching this. I'm Emily at Midnight. Welcome to my channel. Christmas has just passed, and so I thought I would do a little bit of a Christmas book haul and talk about the books that I got for Christmas. It's also a new year. 2025 has begun, so I figured it's a good time to talk about what my reading goals and plans are for 2025. So let's start with the book haul. I'm very excited to talk about the books that I got for Christmas this year. I got a very good little splash of books. The first book that I was gifted is called A Fine Balance by Rohitan Mistry. This is the cover. It's about India in 1975. So I'm very interested in this book, very excited to read it. The next book is called The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. I'm especially excited about this book because this is a book that one of my friends has been dying to get me to read. Receiving this book for Christmas is a clear sign that I need to read this book. It's supposed to be really, really good, and I do love sci-fi, so I'm excited about that. The next book that I got is called The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This book, oh my gosh, if you saw my Ravens video, then you know how I feel about this book, or my year wrap-up video. It's in my best books of 2024. I love this book. It's so good, and I'm reading the whole series. I just finished book 2 recently, and it's so fun. The magic is so wonderful. So just having it on my shelf makes me very happy. So I'm very grateful to have that. Okay, the last book or set of books that I got is from my husband. This is the Murderbot series. Oops, that's not the first one. Murderbot series. I'm so excited to have this series. I did ask him for this. He's a sweetheart and got it for me. But I love this series with my whole soul. It's so good. It's imaginative. It's funny. It's so good. I love sci-fi. And so yeah, it's definitely right up my alley. I've been reading them all digitally, and so I'm so excited to actually have them so I'm not done with this series yet. I just finished Network Effect. So this is the first. This is, third to last. So I can read these last 2 physically if I want, which is really exciting. And I can read and reread and reread these, which I will definitely be doing. It's also really fun to have them physically to kind of be able to compare sizes. I knew that these first 4 were shorter than the others, but it's kind of fun to see how it all shakes out. My favorite book is the biggest one, and that surprises absolutely no one. All right, let's move on to my goals for reading for 2025. I had a difficult time kind of formulating how I wanted to approach 2025, because I'm the kind of person where if I set too intense of a goal for myself, then it sort of intimidates me. And I wanted to make sure that reading still felt intuitive and natural, but I do have a couple of things that I want to achieve with reading. I want to push myself outside of my regular genres. I want to experience lifestyles that I don't usually read about, parts of the world, parts of history that I don't typically see. Basically, I want reading to be both educational and fun for me. So one of my friends, her name's Gwen, she's the one who recommended this book. She also recommended doing a reading bingo, and I really liked that idea. So that's what I've decided to do for 2025. So I've made this bingo sheet. I'm very excited about it. But what I've done with this is I've put a bunch of different things that I want to achieve with my reading on this chart. And that way I'm not putting like a specific number to how many of this I need to read or how many books in all I need to read, what of this genre I need to read. But it's just sort of gamifying the idea of diversifying my reading. I have a lot of really exciting topics on this and quite a few that I know I'll achieve anyways. Just starting with the middle square, the free square, I have just a book that is less than 300 pages. And I'm in the middle of reading an Artemis Fowl book right now that is middle grade, so I'm almost certain that is under 300 pages, so I'll be able to mark that spot off. I have a couple other spots on here that I know I'll be able to achieve anyways, reading a graphic novel, sci-fi fantasy to keep it interesting, to keep it fun, and then I have a couple of these that will push me. A few of the ones that I'm most excited about are reading a book about a natural disaster, reading a World War II book set in a non-Western country, reading a book that you judged by the cover, reading a book of short stories. I've wanted to do that for a while now. I guess I've done it before once or twice, but it's really lovely to read a book of short stories. So that's on my list. Finish a series you've started, probably something I should do. So it's just a fun way to remind me of my reading goals without feeling like I'm pressuring myself. I've actually created this bingo sheet to share. So I have a link to this bingo sheet in the description below, and that link will take you to a couple of different options of this sheet. There's a few minor variations. Overall, it's mostly the same, but there are some distinct differences, and I would like to invite you to follow along with me and participate in reading bingo with me in 2025. Now, you might notice I've called it the Midnight Reading Club, and I feel like it's probably time to explain my channel name. When I was coming up with a name for my channel, I was trying to come up with a way to tie in reading to who I am and what I like, and also make it somewhat distinctive. And in doing so, I ended up connecting a couple of dots that landed me on the name that I chose. For starters, I had just finished reading Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and that book really hit me hard. While I don't think it's the most original idea, it was very profound to me, and I really enjoyed it. Taylor Swift had also just come out with the Midnights album that I really enjoyed. And I was thinking back on all the times as a kid, as a youth, as an adult, that I've spent reading till midnight and beyond. And it sort of just formulated in my mind, and I came up with the title Emily at Midnight. And so the Midnight Reading Club kind of just followed out of that name. So when I was thinking about doing this bingo card, the Midnight Reading Club kind of just followed naturally from the title of my channel. So if you would like to follow along, I would really enjoy playing bingo with all of you. Please comment below if that's something you're interested in doing, and be sure to click the link in the description to download a PDF of this chart. I'm not sure how many people will be interested in playing along, so I haven't come up with a plan for a group chat or anything like that. I think we'll mostly participate in the comments, but if that's something you are interested in, then that's definitely something we can work out. I'm most active on Instagram as far as social media goes, so definitely follow me there. I will be updating there, but I will also be updating progress on this bingo sheet on this channel. I'm planning on periodically coming onto the channel talking about my recent reads and my updates on the bingo chart. So I don't know if that will be quarterly or monthly right now, but it's definitely something I'm excited about doing throughout the year. One last announcement before I go, my story graph is currently up and running. If you've followed my link tree before and looked at my story graph, you might have thought, this looks empty. And it's because it was, but it's finally up and running. I'm planning on updating it as much as I update Goodreads. So be sure to follow me there if that's your main bookish platform. But if you're still on Goodreads, I'm still there. So feel free to follow me there as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow my social media, which are linked below. Have a wonderful day, treat people with respect, and pick up a book.